following on from last episode's Nintendo pitch, that I did the graphic saying Switch pitch, and then whilst doing the editing, realizing that you'd call it Nintendo pitch, and quickly edit that around. That we're back to do a bit of a summary of the Nintendo Direct itself and give our thoughts about what we saw and about what we predicted, and talk about especially about what you got right
I know. I couldn't
with
believe
your
it.
crystal ball.
I honestly couldn't believe it. The fact that I predicted it. That was a couple of weeks ago as well. We recorded that video.
Yeah, it was about a week to 2 weeks before.
Yeah,
Wasn't it?
before it went
Something like
up on YouTube, we recorded
that.
it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
for me to, like, I've had that in my head as well. Even before we recorded it, I was like, I reckon they need to do this for F-Zero. And lo and behold, just as I said, oh, they should do an F-Zero, but like Tetris 99, they've just released
Yeah.
F-Zero 99.
That's such a random thing as well, because it's not really. I don't think I ever would have thought of that, like just out of thin air. That's such a bizarre thing to just pull out of your head and be like, yeah, this entire complete concept
Yeah,
as
it's really
is
weird.
exactly as you described.
I mean, not
Like
exactly.
exactly.
I didn't envision it being NES graphics.
No.
That's why in my pitch I said about 40 racers, thinking like GameCube-esque graphics.
Yeah. But then they do have the ones where it's 25 races, 50 races, or 99 races when you start it up and play it. Have you played it at all
I've
yet?
downloaded it, but I
Okay.
wanted to wait to play it in case we did a recording of it.
Okay. So you won't be able to play it online straight away.
Oh, okay.
It'll make you do like a tutorial through it.
Oh, never mind.
We can just record your first impressions through the tutorial or something.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I was shocked when they announced that. I literally, because I only heard about that when you tagged me in the tweet saying, "Oh, you predicted it right." I was like, "Predicted what right? Mario Kart 9?" And then yeah, I saw it and I was like, "Oh my god."
I was like, I had the kids both on me on the sofa, like nice and settled, watching the direct sort of together, and I just like sat bolt upright, like, oh my god, where's my phone? Where's my phone? Scrabbling around for my phone. So like the girls not knowing what's going on, like quickly like messages you being like, you got it right. I was like, couldn't believe it. Literally couldn't believe it.
I know.
It'd just be like, I don't know, saying, yeah, they're gonna do I don't know, a Zelda fighting game like in the style of Street Fighter 2. Yeah, that's what they're going to do. And then they just did it. So obscure.
If they do that now, I think we got people that secretly watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. If for the viewers, if they're a bit unsure, if they've made it this far and they're a bit unsure as to what we're talking about, go back and watch our Nintendo pitch video where I put a pitch forward for the next Switch game where they would do a Battle Royale F-Zero game.
In the style of Tetris 99
Yeah.
/ Mario 35.
Yeah. And they've done it.
We need to get you to pick some lottery numbers quick. So pick 6 numbers between, what is it now? Between 1
I
and
ain't got a
50,
clue. I
is it?
haven't done it in forever.
We'll be safe. Just choose 6 numbers between 1 and 50.
Okay. 20,
Quick.
20
Go.
27.
27. Okay.
11.
11. Yep.
35.
35.
40,
Yep.
42.
42.
44.
44.
And
One more.
19.
Oh, and we do a bonus ball. What's the bonus ball?
You don't pick a bonus ball, do you?
Do you not?
Isn't the bonus ball just a bonus? So you pick 6 numbers, but if you get 5, and then the bonus ball makes it your 6th, you win, but you don't get the jackpot.
But I think some lotteries in the world do 6 plus a bonus.
Okay.
So just do a bonus ball.
And 49.
49. Okay.
So this was recorded on the 17th of September.
Yeah. So if anyone ever uses these numbers and wins the lottery, let us know. We'll see if Ian can go 2 for 2 on his predictions. There we go. So apart from F-Zero 99, what were you most excited about seeing from the direct?
Well, the Mario Kart 8 DLC is always one I look out for
Yep.
because I just like to know what new tracks are going to put in. And they only really announced one track, which was Daisy Circuit, Daisy Street, or whatever one from the Wii.
I don't know. I can't remember.
And then they announced the 4 characters, which is Diddy Kong, Funky Kong,
Yeah.
Pauline, and then Peachette.
Yeah.
Who the hell's Peachette? How is she any different?
I don't know.
How is she different from Peach?
I don't know.
If they,
I think Peachette is when Toadette gets a power up in New Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe or something, and then she becomes Peach.
right,
Gets something like that.
so when
Obscure.
when Toadette hits level 15 or level 36, she evolves into Peach.
Yeah,
Okay.
basically. But they made some weird choices with Mario Kart 8 with the characters.
I mean,
Peach Gold Peach, or Pink Gold Peach or
yeah,
something.
I was
Like,
thinking about this earlier today. They should have just had all the variations as different colours, like they do with the Yoshis and the Shy Guys. Like,
yeah,
why should Tanuki Mario be different to Mario? Like,
yeah,
it makes no sense.
I don't know.
But I like the
Bit
inclusion
silly.
of Funky Kong and Diddy Kong because it
Yeah.
felt weird that they were omitted.
Need some more Donkey Kong representation in Mario games, I feel. The expanded Donkey Kong cast, because Donkey Kong's always in, like, you get Donkey Kong in Mario Party, you get Donkey Kong in Mario Tennis, you get Donkey Kong in Mario Kart. You occasionally will get Diddy Kong, but
Yeah.
that's about it.
Wow. It's funny you should say about Donkey Kong because they also announced a remake of Mario vs. Donkey Kong from the Game Boy Advance.
See, I was almost right with my prediction.
I was thinking that
I
again
said
when I
I said
watched.
a Donkey Kong game.
Yeah, when I watched the announcement of that game, I was thinking Luke was talking about a Donkey Kong, a new Donkey
And
Kong
it's in the
game.
classic style of Donkey Kong.
Yeah, but
to an extent.
your idea of Donkey Kong was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really
Go
liked.
listen to the video.
Yeah,
People.
I really enjoyed your take on a new Donkey Kong game.
Thanks. Oh, and do you know what else we said in the video as well last week? I was like, oh, once I get better at Unity, and then
Oh,
have you heard everything that's happened?
yeah, they're going to charge people for every install. Not people, but developers,
20 cents per
which
install.
is ridiculous.
Yeah, so for instance, I worked out the other day that if I'd used Unity for some of my mobile games, so especially my one that's done over 100,000 downloads, yeah,
Yeah,
at 20 cents an install, I would owe Unity $20,000.
yeah, that's ridiculous.
And I've not made $20,000 off that game, but that's how much I'd owe them.
Yeah,
So it basically makes it
it's
impossible if you're like a mobile developer.
not just that, but if you're an indie developer as well, it's just going to ruin you.
Mm.
It's okay if
Yep.
you're like Activision or Ubisoft or EA who can splurge that kind of money because they get weirdos spending money on items that have no real value.
Yeah.
Cough Ultimate Team, cough cosmetic skins on Call of Duty.
So unfortunately, I had been for the last 3 months working through Unity tutorials and stuff, and just getting familiar with the thing. And I'd made a little mock-up, like kart racing game,
Yeah,
which was eventually going to become like a Diddy Kong racing style adventure sort of racing game. But I'm going to probably have to switch over to a new engine now because everything.
they might backtrack.
Yeah, it's still not worth the risk now.
No, yeah,
They
true.
pedal at any time, so
Yeah,
there's a few others and stuff that I might move over to. So yeah, that's another random sort of weird thing that was in the video, but then that we mentioned, and then it's
yeah,
become a thing.
yeah, very weird.
Anyway, back on topic. Mario versus Donkey Kong. Were you aware it is a remake
Yes,
of the first Mario versus Donkey Kong they did?
on the Game Boy Advance.
Yes.
Yes,
I wasn't to begin with when I watched the trailer, like watched the direct straight away. I was sort of like, oh, it's a new one. then it wasn't until afterwards when I was on reading some like gaming like forums and stuff that people were talking about it. I was like, oh, it's a remake. Ah, a little bit disappointing
Yeah,
because I think you don't really need to remake that type of game because it's easy enough to get the feel of that game updated and then just do new puzzles. Whereas if it's all the old puzzles, I'll play it and I'll be like, oh, I know how to solve this because you like your muscle memory will just come back on that stuff if you've played it previously anyway.
yeah. I guess it's getting the younger generation who weren't around for the Game Boy Advance an opportunity to play it. And
I guess
I
so.
guess if you were going to try and find a Game Boy Advance and the copy of the game, it'd probably cost a lot more than the £50 or $70 or whatever that Nintendo will charge you for the new version.
Yeah, I'm still going to buy it because
Of course you are.
I'll whinge about that. It should be a completely new game and stuff, but I'm still going to buy it and play it.
So
I
I'm
think it's not.
yeah. Carry on.
I was gonna say, I don't think it is going to be full price. I think it's going to be um, like a Metroid Prime
35 £35 or
situation.
I
Yeah,
don't know what that is. Yeah,
$50. Yeah.
yeah. And speaking of like remakes, remasters, Luigi's Mansion 2, I missed that one because whilst I had a 3DS, I wasn't too keen on the 3DS because of the
No?
joystick or lack of joystick slidey thing.
Oh, you didn't like the circle pads?
Yeah. So
Oh, you just had an original one, didn't you? You didn't have one with the two sticks. So
no,
the
I
stick
had
and the little nub.
the 25th anniversary Zelda edition one.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah. So I missed out on Luigi's Mansion 2. Loved Luigi's Mansion 1, so I will be investing in Luigi's Mansion 2, which will then allow me to get Luigi's Mansion 3. Because I didn't want to get Luigi's Mansion 3 when I've never played the second one.
I don't think they're really a coercive story through
Oh,
three.
I don't know.
I don't think it's. I think it's more a bit like, you know, the Mario franchise. If you've not played Mario 64, you can probably play Mario Sunshine and Galaxy. You're going to be okay.
Okay, well, I'd want to know.
Yeah, I added Luigi's Mansion on 3DS number 2, and I thought it was pretty good. It's not it wasn't called Luigi's Mansion 2 in England.
Was it not?
No, it was called something else.
Oh,
I
cool.
don't think it was called Luigi's Mansion 2, I think.
It was
I can't
called
remember.
Mario's
I was
Brothers Ghost Hunt.
I was trying to give out some random facts on the video, but hang on, let me Google it. Luigi's Mansion 2 called in the UK. It was called Dark Moon.
Oh, yes.
Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. There was
Would have
no
been so funny if you
number to
Googled it and it just said Luigi's Mansion 2 in the UK was called Luigi's Mansion 2.
Yeah, just a TWO though, instead of the letter. Oh, okay. So, I don't know. I'm probably not going to get that one on the Switch. I don't think because I've played it through
Yeah.
and yeah, I don't know. I don't. It's not that it wouldn't be enjoyable. It's just that I only have a limited amount of time to play games, so I try and play stuff that I haven't played before. Completely contradicting myself about getting Mario versus Donkey Kong, but I feel Mario versus Donkey Kong I played that much longer ago that it's okay. Luigi's Mansion 2/Dark Moon feels relatively recent to me
Yes.
still for some reason.
Well, it's funny you should say that about playing new games when you've got the time. Because despite Starfield just coming out,
Yep.
I watched someone play or watched a video on YouTube of someone playing Final Fantasy VIII. So
Yeah.
I'm just now playing that. Starfield's now just in the backlog. I'm just working my way through Final Fantasy VIII again.
What, on the Switch or
No,
on the
on
Xbox?
Xbox.
Oh, okay.
It's just I don't know why. Don't know why.
I keep meaning to download that every single time it goes on sale on the Switch. I'm like, oh, I'll get it. Ian raves about this game. I've never played a Final Fantasy game before. It's about time I play at least one, and then I always forget.
Final Fantasy VIII and Final Fantasy X are my favourites.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I remember you playing through 10 on the PS2.
Yeah. But Final Fantasy VIII, so like when I first played it on the PlayStation 1, I was just going through the game like any RPG of getting a really high level so that you're really powerful and hope for the best. When really you need to stay at the lowest level possible and max out your stats via other methods.
How come? Does the game level with you then,
Yeah,
like Oblivion
yeah.
does? Oh, okay.
So there's a way of getting like really powerful because you have to put magic onto your stats to make your stats better, and there's ways of
Yeah.
getting really high level magic by playing the card mini game. So yeah, it takes a while. You have to really grind, which is what I'm doing now because I never played it that way back in the PS1 days. So yeah, that's what I'm doing.
I've actually got into Starfield quite a bit.
People say that like as you get further into the story, it gets like really good.
I'm not even doing the main story. I'm just doing this. I'm just this vanguard mercenary person, just going about doing stuff, shooting robots, killing aliens. I've got UC citizenship now,
Oh yeah,
and yep, and I've got my own little apartment. It made me laugh. I didn't realise this. So in Starfield, you get to the place in Alpha Centauri. I can't remember what it's
New
called.
Atlantis.
I'm rubbish with names. New Atlantis. So you get to New Atlantis. Okay, it looks all nice on top of it and everything. And then did some missions. I got my citizenship, and then the person says, "Oh, now that you're citizen, you can buy property. Go to the like realtor, which is like the estate agent.
Yeah,
Go down there." They said, "Oh, we've got this place to sell to you. Like it's in the well." And I was like, "Why do I live in a well? Like I'm not a troll or something. Why am I living in a well?" Bit confused. Anyway, followed the marker down to this place. The well is this underground city, which is basically makes me think of Demolition Man.
never seen it.
Never seen Demolition Man.
No.
Okay, Futurama.
Yeah, the
You have New
mutants.
New York.
Yeah,
Yeah, New York is built on top of Old New York, and Old New York underneath is all the mutants and stuff.
yeah,
That's a direct rip-off of Demolition Man. Okay, so that's the same thing that this well thing is based. Well, I guess based off, but made me think it's based off that. I was like, I had no idea this was it. I've been wandering around this city for like hours and hours and hours, and now there's this random place. Yeah, that's what I think is really good about Starfield is you can be in a place for ages and then suddenly discover something new.
yeah,
Yeah. Bit off topic again.
yep,
Supposed to be concentrating on the Nintendo Direct. It's probably going to be one of those videos.
yes,
A
yeah.
long random tangent video. Was there any other games that stood out to you?
Well, Paper Mario, just because I never got round to getting it on the GameCube, and then when I eventually wanted it on the GameCube, it was sold out everywhere, and then the price just skyrocketed.
Mm.
So I never
Yes.
actually got round to playing it, even though I always wanted to. I think actually, when you worked in that game shop, I think you had
Play.
yeah. I didn't want to name drop it just in case. I think
They
you
went bankrupt donkeys ago.
yeah. I think there was a copy in your thingy, but again, it was on hold for someone.
Yeah.
Most likely.
Yeah. They did a deal at one point towards the end of the GameCube's life when the Wii and Xbox 360 and PS3 were all like on the horizon to come out, and they did all their GameCube games where they did a deal where you could buy any two GameCube games for £50, which was obviously a really good deal back then as well, especially because the GameCube games are 40 quid each anyway, so two for 50 was amazing. And then obviously what my boss did was he just hoarded all the good games that he wanted, and then was just I guess planning to buy them, but then never did. So they were just like out the back, all the
Yeah.
good stuff. And what we had on the shelf was like FIFA 2002.
And I
It's
knew
like,
they were out
great.
the back because I used to go out the back occasionally
Shh.
to help. They're bankrupt. They went bankrupt years ago. On Nintendo Wii launch day, I was helping with that.
Oh yeah, you sat at the back and played Tony Hawk Downhill Jam, didn't you?
Yeah, but I was also getting everyone's orders all packed up.
Orders. Yeah. Yeah. That was really exciting. We had queues out the door all
Yeah,
morning for like
that
the Wii
was
and
that was a
everything.
really exciting day that we released.
And the 360 launch was really cool as well. We had everyone queued up outside for 360s and everything. We had people, and then PlayStation launch day was we had 2 people for PS3.
So
We had loads of people cancel their pre-orders because Sony came out with the in England PS3 launched at £425. That at the time was the US dollar in 2008. I got 2 point something dollars to a pound, so that means PS3 in American dollars was probably around $900 straight exchange rate in the UK, which was ridiculous because you could get an Xbox 360 for £210, which was the core system, which is about $400.
blimey.
So we had just had everyone cancelling, getting Xbox 360s or Wii's or whatever. But that's what made them go out of that's what made ePlay go out of business. They decided that they would cancel their. They had an offer for orders of the Wii. They didn't take it because they didn't think it was going to sell well. Put all their money into PS3s, and then it came out bombed. And then, like literally 6 weeks after it came out, Sony slashed the price, and they didn't buy them sale or return. So they just folded.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Now you know.
PlayStation made them go under.
But yeah, that was the another game that stood out for me in the Nintendo Direct. Another remake
Another remake.
or
It's going to be a
remaster.
familiar theme.
Yes, and there's a reason why I think this is, which I'll disclose at the end. So stay tuned,
Is
avid
this another Ian prediction?
viewers. It is another Ian prediction.
Okay.
Um,
One game that wasn't a remake, though, that was like a new game, was the Princess Peach game.
yes.
I thought when they first announced it, I was like, oh, okay, Princess Peach game. What's this going to be like? Are they just trying to like, cash in on this recent like female power hero thing? Even though there's been like lead female characters for donkeys, they've got flipping Samus and Metroid, for instance.
And they've got another one we'll get on to soon.
Yep. But actually, looks really good. Looks really fun.
I can honestly say I haven't seen this trailer yet.
Oh no, okay, I'll give you the gist of it. So it's like theatre themed.
Okay.
So like a theatre themed world. And each world or each level is almost like a different play. So they have like lots of variety in like the gameplay and what sort of Peach can do. So there's like I guess almost like a piratey swashbuckling type play where she gets like a sword and like the hat and everything like that.
Yeah.
And then there's like some other ones I can't remember off the top of my head now, but just completely different like gameplay styles all in this one game. So I thought it'd actually be like really good for like younger kids, because when you're young you don't have loads and loads of games to choose from. So if you have a game that has lots of different play styles, it sort of feels like you have more than one game.
Yeah.
So I thought that'd be quite good. But yeah, it looked pretty good to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've got Splatoon 3, haven't you?
Yes, I do. I've not played it yet. Still sealed.
Oh. I was going to say, like, they're releasing another expansion pass for that. I never really got into Splatoon.
Splatoon was amazing on the Wii U. And I think it was amazing because it had that feeling of... Do you remember when we first got the Xbox 360?
Yeah.
And we got Gears of War, and we played it online, and everyone playing online was like a normal person.
Yeah.
And it was like this really fun community. The original Splatoon on the Wii U, because the only people that had Wii U's were probably, like hardcore Nintendo fans.
Yeah.
It had that same sort of feeling. It wasn't like kids screaming obscenities and people hacking and being stupid. It was all very much like a really good community around the game when you played it online. And obviously the gameplay was quite fun as well. But with the Switch, it's very different, and it's almost to me, it feels like it's getting a bit sort of old and stale now.
Oh, okay.
Because they've done 3 games in the space of 10 years.
Yeah.
Which is a lot for Nintendo, I think. I don't think they should have done Splatoon 3 on the Switch. I think they should have done Splatoon 2 and then just done expansions for it and kept Splatoon 3 for whatever's coming next. But that's my personal opinion. I bought it anyway and I have it, but I've not had that impetus to play it.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah,
Oh, I thought you would have been all over that Splatoon
I was
DLC.
all over like original Splatoon. It looked a bit rubbish as well. Splatoon, you got to remember as well. Splatoon's single player is absolute pants.
I've never played it. I've only played
Okay.
multiplayer with you,
Yeah, it's all
which
about playing online.
was awful because obviously you played it a lot and I never played it. So when I played it with
Yeah,
you, it's just like, what am I doing? Before I've even realised what I'm doing, you've already killed me like 20 times.
that's how I feel when I play you at games that I have played.
There was a game that I did see, Super Crazy Rhythm Castle.
Super Crazy Rhythm Castle.
It's like
I don't.
a rhythm adventure like game. I watched a trailer like before we started recording,
Yeah,
and it just looked quite fun. Like it's all everything you do. It's kind of like the Cadence games, Cadence of Hyrule and stuff, where you have to do the
yeah.
puzzles and time to like the music beat. It's probably not one that I would necessarily buy, but if it was gifted to me, I wouldn't be like upset.
Is that a hint?
No, I was just saying like with the limited amount of resources I have to spend on games, I would never like choose to purchase it. But if it was on say like Game Pass or I had enough Nintendo points or whatever to acquire it without disposing of actual income, then I
Okay.
probably would.
Or if the developer wants to give you a review code at some point, you'd play it and review it for them.
Yes, that as well. It did seem from the direct there was as we mentioned earlier, there was a lot of remakes. There was another Code, a DS remake.
Yeah, I saw that. A lot of because I paused it when the F-Zero stuff came up for a bit as well, because I was quite excited. I messaged you, and I had to get the girls settled back down and made myself a cup of tea and came back and then carried on watching it. It meant obviously that I could skip through certain bits.
Oh, okay,
So some bits of the direct, like that, I was just like, nah, I'm just not interested. I just fast forwarded through.
yeah,
So I didn't see everything in that DS game. That what did you say it was
another
called?
Code.
Another K. I think I briefly saw that, but skipped past it 'cause it's not
Yeah,
really my
it
sort of
didn't
thing.
really interest me from what I saw. Same with Spy Anya. I thought it just looked meh.
Yeah, I'm not really into like the whole weird like JRPG slash anime manga style
Yeah, the things
games.
that like made jumped out at me was you play as the girl, and then her parents are like 2.5 times her size. But are you supposed to be playing as like a toddler to justify the size difference, or are you just playing like a high school girl, but for some reason she's just really small and the parents are really tall and normal looking?
I love that's your takeaway from the game completely. It's just like, why are the parents so big and the player so small? It doesn't
The
make any
parents
sense.
look normal in terms of like anime like art style. They look normal,
Yeah. Okay.
but the spy Anya character just doesn't. I
Ugh.
don't. I just it just really threw me off, and I was like, I don't think I could ever play a game like this because that's all I'd think about.
Trying to see what else is on this. On this. Oh, when you were talking about the that music game, there was that trumpet game. Did you see that?
No.
Oh, it looks absolutely hilarious. When it first started playing, I was like, "Oh, right, is this another like Wii Music situation where it's not even a proper game?" But it is actually looks really fun. You have like the Joy-Con, and you like tilt up and down, I guess, which does the pitch,
Okay.
and then I guess you press the button to make that. So you go,
Right.
and then
Okay.
you got to and it's a bit like Guitar Hero with the bits where you got to
Oh yeah.
match it up to, and the music plays. Um, but it just sounded really funny and looked really funny because it's like classical, there's pop music, there's Japanese tracks and stuff like that, all in like this trumpet tone, and it's like it looked like it'd be a really fun party game because it sounds like a load of drunk people playing trumpets trying to play like a pop song.
Oh, I'll have to go back and watch
Mm.
that one.
Yeah, actually looked really cool. I was very pessimistic when it started up. I almost skipped it, but I was like, oh no, actually this seems quite fun.
There was a racing game announced which came out the same day as the direct, which is Horizon Chase 2. Did you see that one?
Yeah, I saw that briefly.
I thought it looked all right. I'm sure it's probably going to be one of those games that's like £15.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked okay. I would probably play it. It's 4-player co-op as well, which I notice Nintendo is like really focusing heavily on is couch
Yeah.
co-op.
I like that they do
Because
that because
even
that's
Donkey Kong Mario versus Donkey Kong, they've added a 2-player co-op mode
mm,
because there's
yeah.
not enough games that are couch co-op, and it's very
Yeah,
frustrating.
Microsoft and Sony just don't do it.
Yeah,
They're just like, no, we don't worry about that. We'll just do it online. Let's make everyone sit alone in their house, and if they want to play multiplayer, have to play with like strangers
yeah.
around the world,
Or if you
basically.
want to play with your partner, they have to buy another TV and another console.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, which is how me and my wife used to play Fortnite.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I had it on the Xbox and I had it on the Switch. Like this was way back when Fortnite like first came out.
Okay. Yeah.
So I would bring the TV from the bedroom downstairs, hook it up to the Switch, and then we'd do crossplay, join the same party, and we'd just be sat there playing Fortnite together. Because you couldn't do that split screen. So it's the only
No.
way we could play it together was to play one of us on the Xbox and one of us on the Switch.
Yeah. It's the main reason why me and Sarah basically don't play multiplayer on the Xbox very much anymore because you just cut loads of games don't support it.
Yeah,
On the Xbox 360, we'd play everything online split screen.
yeah,
So, but they don't do that anymore. They're like, oh no, even if they have sort of maybe split screen, you can just do 1 versus 1. You can't go split screen, but then go online together doing split
yeah,
screen. That's really
yeah.
frustrating.
It's really bad with Halo 5, not Halo 5, Halo Infinite, where
Yeah,
they promise split screen co-op campaign, and then we're just like, nope, we can't do it.
I've not even played the campaign because of that. I was waiting and waiting and waiting so me and Sarah could play through it together,
I can
and I just
understand
haven't
why
done it.
it didn't work
So,
because it's like open world, so it'd be really hard to keep track of both players. Like, how would you do it if you both went to two different missions and different sides of like?
but they could just tether you together like they did in Halo 1
Yeah,
and Halo 2 because you'd have the lead player, player 1, and as soon as the player got to a save checkpoint, it would teleport the second player to them. Do you remember that?
yeah,
Yeah, they
yeah.
could have just done that.
True.
But I basically had it rather than a checkpoint, just say you had to stay within like a certain distance of the main player, otherwise you'd just teleport to them.
Yeah. Right. Any other games that you liked the look of from the direct? Because there's
Well,
still one that is my most hyped game from the list.
I was just going to go over because I've got like the list thing here over ones that I just little to no interest in. There was something called War Tales.
Yeah,
There was also something called Battle Crush, something called Euden
yeah,
Chronicle, Eastwood Octopia, Bandle Tale, Song Nunu. Like the Prince of Persia game, it it looks alright, but I expect more from like a AAA big budget publisher. Like if like an indie studio had made that Prince of Persia game, it would look good. But Ubisoft, with all their money and stuff, like
maybe they've
it's
done it
just
that way
very mediocre.
to gauge how well it will sell. They've
I
gone
don't
back
know.
to basics.
Yeah. And then you've got Contra, which to me at this point just seems like again a bit of like a cash grab on
Hmm.
like an old name of a series rather than moving the series forwards. They've sort of just gone, oh, we're just gonna slapdash rate make like a up to date version of the exact same gameplay. Um, Among Us, literally no interest in that
No,
whatsoever. Don't even understand what that is. Um,
well,
are you an Among Us player?
no, I've never played it, but I kind of get the gist of it. You're all on a spaceship or something, and there's a murderer amongst you, and you kind of have to guess who it is. But every player's an actual person, like online.
Okay,
So it's kind of like Cluedo online.
yeah. But I guess it requires everyone who's playing online to play properly.
Yeah,
and not randomly just quit out and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
WarioWare
WarioWare.
don't have
There you go.
don't have interest in it. The DS one was good, but I don't really.
The DS version was amazing.
Yeah, the original DS one was good, but I don't really
Yeah.
have any thoughts on it. No opinion on it. It's just I just don't think it will. I just feel like they should just do something good with Wario. Give him another 3D adventure.
Yeah. Yeah. Or something.
Yeah.
Some sort of new gameplay style, new sort of IP, but they could anchor it to Wario
Oh,
because he's got
basically,
stuck in like the WarioWare thing now.
yeah. Just make Shenmue, but replace Shenmue with Wario. He can drive around on his bike and do little tasks.
Absolutely perfect. If they announce that now or at some point in the future,
Like this kind of open world GTA esque game where you're anti hero Wario. Who knows?
trying to avenge his father's death.
Yeah. Little did you know that your companion the whole time in Waluigi was the murderer, or was behind it all the whole time.
Yeah.
Super Mario
And then
RPG.
yeah. So I do you remember when we first got the internet,
Yeah, I remember playing
uh,
it.
and I was like, and I get downloaded and installed like the SNES emulator and all the
Yeah,
games. That was one of the games, obviously, that we got, and I remember playing it for a bit there, and then I just sort of got so far and then just lost interest.
yeah.
So
I think I watched you play it and I got bored.
yeah, and I don't know whether that was a problem because it was just being emulated on the Super Nintendo on the PC or not, or whether I don't know. That point in time, I wasn't able to appreciate it, but it's a game that I'm sort of like umming and ahhing at looking at getting maybe because of obviously the quality of the Paper Mario games, and it's sort of like in that sort of same
Yeah,
realm, isn't it?
yeah. I'd probably
Yeah.
give it a miss again. I'm sure it will get rave reviews. I'm sure it'll be a really good game, but you know, I don't
Yeah.
play RPGs a lot because they need a lot of time and effort. And yet here I am talking
He
about Final
says after
Fantasy,
playing,
Final
yeah,
Fantasy 8.
yeah,
But there's some people that will literally play nothing but RPGs, and they sink like hundreds of hours into like each one.
I'd be playing the same game for like 5 years just to complete it
Yeah,
if I did that.
RPGs
Because like
should come with a mode where it's just like you just want to enjoy the story, where it's beatable without having to grind your levels up, just so you can
yeah,
enjoy the story. Because there are probably some RPGs that people go, this story is amazing, like the story of this game is amazing, but I'm not going to sink 200 hours into it just to kind of find out what happens.
do you know what is a really good short RPG type game that I feel needs to get a re-release or just expanded upon or something? On the 3DS, I think it was Level 5 made a game, really cheap budget game. I think I bought it for like £2 like on a sale. And it was called Attack of the Friday Monsters.
Never heard of it.
Yeah. It's really good. And it's only like, I don't know, I guess sort of 10 to 12 hours long gameplay wise,
Oh,
but it's really fun. And it's got like a really nice little story, and it's like it made me think of the whole, like what the show like Power Rangers is based on. It was
yeah,
based on like a Japanese program, and each week they have like the big bad that comes along, sort
yeah,
of thing, and then they defeat it, and then the next week the same thing sort of happens, but it's a different bad guy.
yeah.
It's basically that, but as a game,
Oh,
as like thing. And yeah, but you don't play as anyone fighting the monsters. You play as just this little boy who lives in this like village slash city place where this happens and he's like an observer. Like trying to get, oh, it's Friday, got to get home from school. You know, the monsters, the big Kaijus are coming over to the city to fight the heroes. Oh, it's like that sort of thing. Yeah,
All right,
it was pretty good.
last game then, I think, which is the one I'm
Yeah,
most
I
excited
think
for,
yeah, I guessed it would be this one.
which is the Tomb Raider remasters.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, this is the game that I didn't even know it was announced until like a day later when I saw it on Twitter. And
You-
yeah, I'm just,
how did you miss it?
because I was busy working and I just didn't have, yeah, didn't have time to like watch the direct as it was happening. But yeah, I'm really excited for this because Tomb Raider was a big part of my youth back when my mum and your dad surprised us one day when we got home from school with a PlayStation 1.
Yep,
And yeah, Tomb Raider,
Porsche Challenge.
yep, Porsche Challenge and the demo disc, which had the Die Hard game.
Yeah,
But yeah, Tomb Raider, I always have memories of locking the butler in the fridge in the house and the level of the T-Rex where you run around the corner and the T-Rex just runs out and you're like, oh my god, get away
yeah.
from me now. And I'm just so excited to see it with revamped graphics.
Hmm.
So that's going to be a definite purchase.
It's my when it first came out, the first Tomb Raider game. It's really funny because my mum's always been like, "Oh, video games, oh, they're a waste of time, blah 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 blah." Even though she would like sit and play video games with us. But anyway, um, I have like vivid memories of like her and my stepdad. So they would be on the sofa downstairs. Like this was after like me and my brother would like go to bed, and that, and like if you come down to get a glass of water, my mum would be on the sofa with like the guide, the Tomb Raider guide. My stepdad would be like playing it, and that, and they'd be like, my mum would be being like, "No, it says go left and go here," and then my stepdad's like, "No, but I've got to go over here because it's this like cog or whatever thing." It was hilarious, just like watching them like have like these little bickering things about how to complete this game, Tomb Raider.
No, it was good, and it was iconic lead Lara Croft. But yeah, that's what I'm most excited about. But I said earlier they've done a lot of remasters, re-releases, etc.
Hmm.
because Nintendo are clearly putting all of their proper development time into brand new games for the next Switch.
Yeah,
They can't bring
that'd be a
out
good assumption.
they can't bring out a brand new like game because they don't have time. They've
I
got to
think
work
that's
on
the.
Metroid Prime 4 and Mario
Yeah,
Kart 9. Yeah,
I think that's going to be their plan with the new whatever the sequel is to the Switch. I think they're probably a bit concerned about when they went from like Wii U, biggest thing ever, then they really sorry Wii, and then they went Wii U, and everything just went boof
yeah.
because it didn't launch with like a massive game.
What did it launch
Like
with? Skyward Sword? No, not Skyward Sword.
no, it didn't really launch with any. It had you had Nintendo
Oh
Land
yeah,
World, and you had Zombie U.
oh yeah. Oh, Killer. No, not Killer 7.
It
That
just
was the Wii. Not Killer 7. What
it
game am
just
I
it
thinking of?
didn't it just didn't have a lot on there, and so I think what they're probably aiming to do, I wouldn't be surprised if when Nintendo release the new whatever their new console is going to be, that in the first 6 to 12 months of it coming out, we get a brand new 3D Mario, we get a brand new Zelda, and we get like Metroid 4, and we get Mario Kart 9. I reckon that's going to be year one.
It'll be backwards compatible as well. The amount of
Yeah,
effort they're putting into
100%.
the Switch. But I think the Switch is probably the best generation Nintendo have had for good quality games since like the GameCube.
Yeah, yeah. well, it's because they've been able to pull their resources all into one spot. Because normally they would have their team split doing handheld and home console.
Yeah.
So they've been able to bring everything under one house now. And that's why the amount of content and games is like exponential.
Yeah. Exciting for the Switch 2. Hopefully it doesn't do a Wii U.
But I can see the original Switch going on, doing a bit of an original Game Boy type scenario, and just continuing. Because think if you can get when the Switches come down, like in price, and you can pick up a second-hand Switch Lite for sort of like $100, that's going to be the console of choice for like young kids, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like kids getting their first console, like handheld console, maybe around 7 or 8 years old. And you've got this whole big library of games. I think they're going to continue to sell.
Yeah.
I think Switch is going to continue to sell
they have to, don't they?
easily
'Cause
up until.
how else are they going to sell Just Dance? Just Dance 2024.
Just Dance 2095. Yeah, I don't get that game.
No. But anyway, that's a long video today.
Yes. Oh, almost 50 minutes.
Yeah. If you've stuck around this long.
No one's getting through to the end of
No.
this one.
Not at all.
One person. If you're that one person, just leave a comment. Just be like, hey guys, I stayed. I stayed to the end.
Yeah. We'll give you a shout out on the next video that we record after this video goes live.
Yeah.
Because the next video we record will be probably in a minute.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's how we do it.
Yeah. But yes, that's our thoughts on the Nintendo Direct